Okay, hi everyone. I'm here at the Watford ISKCON Hare Rama Hare Krishna Temple, Bhakti Mana Temple?
Bhaktivedanta Manor.
Bhaktivedanta Mana Temple. It's beautiful here, and I've been walking around the Goshala. I have another short video that I've done of the cows in the Goshala, which I will show you later. But I have here with me Gauriji, Gauri Das.
Gauri Das.
Yeah, Gauri Das. Do you want to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, the Manor is one of the most important temples in Britain, one of the largest, one of the oldest, one of the first that was in this country. And, well, I'm the managing director here, so I'm kind of overall responsible for making sure everything goes according to plan.
Okay, and how long have you been a Krishna devotee for?
Well, I was born a Christian in a Catholic family in Scotland, and, you know, I got the first books and things related to, well, South Asian philosophy, culture in late 1970s.
Okay.
I began to read them, and it kind of just took over my life.
So we're talking sort of over 40, 45 years then?
Yeah, well, I left home to become a Hindu monastic in 1983, which was a big shocker for
I bet.
my family.
Yeah,
and
course.
Local for all the Celtic supporters.
That's for another video, though,
yeah,
right?
Maybe, okay.
Your punk rock days we can cover.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You promised me to stick to cows
right,
today.
exactly. We're talking cows today. So, Gauriji, you're a vegan, right?
I'm a vegan. I would say I'm 99% vegan.
Okay.
But if milk or dairy comes from our farm here, where the cows are protected and cared for life, then, and it's offered in the temple, then I'll take that dairy. But because, you know, I heard of over 50 cows, this is 40 litres of milk a day.
Yeah. So
so I'm not having it very often.
Yeah, it's hard. You're hardly having, and that's if somebody offers it to you often. But
if it's offered, like the main offerings on the altar here will be that specific dairy, and so if I'm offered that myself here, then it wouldn't be good for me to go like no, you know.
Okay.
So,
but in terms of having standard commercial milk that comes from modern day dairy farms, it's over. You don't touch
not anymore.
That, right? Okay.
I used to,
yeah.
You know, because it was such a part. Dairy was like everything.
Right.
You know, every fine item from sandesh, burfi, paneer,
everything.
You know, when we became vegetarians, it was like we took to dairy in such a big and unhealthy way because we were used to eating meat.
Yeah.
Eating beef, you know, that was my childhood.
Yeah.
So when we turned to vegetarianism, it was like when we saw paneer.
That was your go-to.
It was like wow, fried paneer. It was like everything. It was like a steak.
So why did you give up dairy from modern day dairy farms? Why did you stop going to the supermarket to buy your organic or non-organic milk?
Well, it finally stopped for me. I mean, my wife became a vegan many years ago.
Okay.
Right? Credit goes to her, and she kind of
so
continuously.
She planted some seeds.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And but I lived with that pressure, but I didn't respond. I thought I'm vegetarian. I'm a Hindu. Hare Krishna. I offer the milk to Krishna. The cow gets benefit, whatever.
Yeah.
Rationalized it, but then when all of a sudden I got a phone call one day from some of the Hindu leaders saying the Bank of England are producing banknotes with tallow, which means that there's an essential part of animal fat and beef in that, and that what should we do about that?
Right.
And I thought, well, we need to fight against it. We need to oppose it. We need to stop it. And so when I took up the campaign for that, then there was a whole section of society then began to pick on me. Like, you're trying to stop a tiny bit of tallow in a banknote while you're taking milk from the massive industry of slaughter, and you know the arguments are yours. The cows are raped, the calves are slaughtered, the cow is milked by machines. Whether it's an organic one or it's not, whatever it is, and then you get the milk that was meant for a calf, and you're worried about tallow and banknotes.
So that was your big wake-up call.
That was it. I couldn't hold it back any further.
Yeah, and
it
that
was just. I just caved in. I thought I can't live with this. I am no longer taking milk from the industry, and that was it. I said it before. Now, if I'm prepared to kill the calf to drink the milk, then I should drink it.
Okay.
And so if you want to drink cow's milk industrial milk from your shops or whatever, that convenience, you kill the calf.
So that's,
you abuse the cow.
Yeah.
You know, you ultimately slaughter the cow as well. Then take the milk. Are you fine with that? No, you're not.
So that's massive.
If someone else is doing it, it's fine because you're blind.
It's done behind closed doors.
Completely.
It's so easy.
In the abattoir.
Right.
Not the slaughterhouse.
Exactly. It's so easy to put euphemisms on the processes that actually take place within the dairy industry. And I know some vegans like to, you know, call the artificial insemination process rape. You know, I personally don't use that term, but if you actually looked at it as to what is happening to her,
yeah,
you know, one of course can accept it as rape. And so for many Hindus who are watching this, who have this, I don't know, in their mandir, in their temple, they might have, you know, murtis of Lord Krishna and the
or
cow,
Shiva or
Shiva with
Nandi,
and there's this belief, and I used to have this myself, so I say this with compassion, that there's this belief that Hindus, we revere the cow, we respect the cow.
Yeah.
But of course, you open their fridge and there's a gallon of red top or green top or blue top.
Yeah.
What might your message be to them?
Well, what's happened in eventuality there is that something which was a huge contributor to life in India, which took religious status because of it, the cow, and their understanding that cows alive contributed more to life on earth than dead. And so, but the cow gradually becomes a symbol. And then the urban person worships the symbol of the cow because it's the mother, it's all those things, but they're not actually, they've disconnected the symbol from the reality of life completely.
Okay.
The cow's no longer a cow, it's this divine being with all the gods in his body, and you buy a statue of it in a shop, you put it in its house, in your house, you worship it, you care for it, but you don't look
beyond
around you of with regards to what's actually taking place and what you're part of.
And you don't question where that way when you go to the Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda's, and you purchase that milk. No, you know, a typical Hindu or a typical non-Hindu even, anyone that just drinks milk or consumes dairy, they're not questioning where it's coming from. And that was, I think that's what you were talking about in terms of the Hindus' sentiments of the cow, that there was in Vedic tradition a symbiosis, a beautiful synergy between the cow and the human, and there was a circle of giving, which in modern day Western civilization and the Western Hindus' reality, I mean that's
no,
gone.
it's gone. That was an agrarian society.
Right.
This is an industrial society.
Right.
It's completely different.
Right.
So everything's different.
So
in so many ways, the context is completely different.
Would you say then, therefore, that just how you, when you were challenged about the tallow, and at that point you were still consuming dairy from commercial farms, would you then say to Hindus who are watching this that, you know, if you're still buying milk from commercial farms, I mean, you said something really strong there, kill the calf yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's really quite a strong point to make. I've been saying this in not exactly those words for the last couple of years, and that is ultimately the reality of the dairy industry. I feel it's as cruel as, if not more, than the beef industry. The two are interlinked because of how the dairy cow is treated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say to Hindus that, you know, I know that for the older generation, their issues were about immigration, settling in foreign countries. You had nothing. You turned up in the airports of Britain with nothing, and you had to begin a life here. And these further ethical issues that Dina and other people are working on weren't your issues. Your issues were just your basic survival, developing the economy, and then having your children all highly educated, where then they start to think,
make trouble,
and ask all these questions, which were perhaps not the questions of your life. But I think that we, in order for our sustainability as people, and that we're always addressing and questioning ourselves about our values, about our lifestyle, and specifically for Hindus, you know, the big thing is that we try our very best to live without harm to others. And the big Hindu contribution to the world was that includes animals, that includes the earth. You know, we worship rivers, we worship trees, we respect the environment, we see the universe as God, not God as somebody that exists in another place far off, and that our soul that we have is related to that and completely separate from our life here in the universe. Hindus have lived with these ethics, and the questions that Dina's and others are raising now need to be answered, they need to be addressed, and that we can't continue to live on giving our hard-earned resource to the butcher, to the industry of slaughter, so that we can maintain the convenience of having our couple of pints of milk a day, and for the foods that we like to eat. There needs to be change, and the change starts. It's already started. Thanks to all the vegans who keep harassing us about it.
Gauriji, thank you so much for that. That's a really strong message there. So for the viewers, you know, share this video, share it with your friends and family. I know I get contacted by so many people who they themselves are vegan, but their family aren't, and they struggle because there's this kind of real attachment to milk. And, you know, people need to wake up. Whatever age you are, you need to wake up. If you are in the belief that the dairy industry is kind and the cow is treated well, and that's what the cow does, she just gives milk, you need to even just get on the internet and do a very simple Google search about the realities of dairy. And Gauriji has said it very clearly himself: if you want to drink milk, kill the calf yourself. So thank you so much.
No, thank you.